the Mexican youth will save Mexico. It's no secret that Mexico is a highly corrupt country. Maybe it's been decreasing or increasing over the last years, but it's no secret that in 2018 they got a score of 20 out of 100 in the Corruption Perception Index, and they were ranked 138 out of 180 countries. So what does this say about us? That our government is not working well, that people are paying bribes, that people are skipping over red lights. Yes, that lets us know all about that. But it says even more about the people that live in the country and about the mission the Mexican youth now have. It was reported by the NSW's ICAC, the Independent Commission Against Corruption, that the undetected and unchecked corruption in the public sector can cause serious damages. Undermining public trust in the government, wasting public resources and money, causing injustice, inefficiency in operations, reputational damage. These are all things that Mexico already deals with. So we know our corruption is not hidden. It's not unchecked. We are very aware that it's happening around us, and we're very aware that to fight it off, we need huge moves, and we need a lot of work and a lot of people. There's an already existing program in Mexico called Cómo Vamos Nuevo León. Cómo Vamos Nuevo León was born in 2012 as Alcalde Cómo Vamos, a project organized by the Civil Society of Nuevo León, whose initial model was to evaluate 10 proposals in the different public figures that were the politicians, and to see if they were actually accomplishing their different proposals based on security, transparency, mobility, public spaces, etc. The evaluation of this was started by public dialogues, where you would find different majors and different organizations from civil society that would evaluate if the people are actually doing their jobs. According to transparency.org, there's already teens out there who are kickstarting campaigns, running hackathons, planning protests so they can be daunting. You know, we have anti-corruption all around the world, starting in everywhere from Brazil to Norway. So we already know the percentages have gone down in many countries thanks to the youth speaking out. So what are we waiting for, Mexico? Why are we not doing something about it? This is why my proposal is for Cómo Vamos Nuevo León to create a campaign called Heads Up. Heads Up would be a campaign where you would take people over 18 who are interested in participating in anti-corruption program, of course. They would teach them everything they need to know about citizen participation, sustainability, everything to know about transparency, etc. And then after that, you would have them be ambassadors for their school or community. You would have the youth representing the youth. They would create social media handles, they would run different programs and different events in conjunction with Cómo Vamos Nuevo León. Cómo Vamos Nuevo León could provide funding and different types of resources they may need, while the youth comes up with brings the people and comes up with the ideas. This would be a very smart move because we already know the youth of Mexico is the future. This movement is already seen in Fridays for Future, which is the movement started by Greta Thunberg. We know it will work because there have been multiple protests here in Monterrey just for climate change, and we've seen them all be extremely successful. Another great example of these would be Walks for Freedom. It's a movement created by students for students where they walk miles and miles protesting just to try and avoid slavery in different countries. We know it's not a secret nowadays that protests, especially by the youth, are the ones that make the most impact. So why not take a risk and make Heads Up a real thing? For me personally, I stand by this proposition because I strongly believe the youth is the change we need in the government. If we take what's already existing, like Cómo Vamos Nuevo León, and we just make a few tweaks and changes here and there, we will come out with an even stronger program that will allow people to focus more into that and to grow up learning about transparency and corruption and what not to do so that it can decrease. So, Mexico, now we're just waiting for you to move. Heads up? Well, also keep your mind up.